Whew, a little scattered. Maybe this will help to focus. So, quick pregame show. Mostly a lot of reading this week, which is very good. I'm very happy for that. I enjoy all the cross-pollination of ideas that comes from integrating one media, having that sort of elide into encounters with another. It's really cool to have certain movies enter your poetic intake, and then your poetry inform how you see movies, and that's all really cool. But it's been very reading focused, and I'm very happy for that. I've been reading Mieko Kawakami's All the Lovers in the Night, and this is an impressive book. I really enjoy it. It is deceptively low-key. Evening, Mahafun. Good to see you. It is deceptively low-key. I thought it was going to be a sort of very quiet, urban slice of life drama, which that is not a wrong description. But the ways that it dramatizes the protagonist's sort of internal struggle and growth with a frankly crushing shyness, and the ways that she overcomes that, or tries to cope with it, I think is probably a better word for where she is right now, halfway through the book, is deceptively simple. It also does something. This is very interesting to encounter in a translation, but it's also interesting to encounter in any English language book, where you read through and there seems to be a complete lack of what I think of as underlinable sentences. So there are some phrases that sort of jump out at you, and you're like, oh, okay, I could copy and paste that and put that on a sticky note, and that would be kind of cool. And there are certain passages that shows up in, but it doesn't show up at sort of like very key dramatic moments, and that's very interesting to me. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how this unfolds. Next, I got this in the mail, which I'm very happy about. If you remember from an earlier stream, I discussed my love for John Billairs as a young adult writer from when I was a wee lad. And this is The Lamp from the Warlock's Tomb, an Anthony Munday mystery. And as you can see, it has that lovely Edward Gorey illustration of, there you go, Anthony Munday going through the forest, shining his light on who we presume is the Warlock. Oh, and there's the lamp. And this lovely little bit on the back, which is very Gorey-esque. There we go. Very Edward Gorey-esque of a blighted landscape, a single monolithic sculpture or structure in the background that is imposing and must be our destination. But for the specific thing to look at, I also received a couple of poems, a couple of books of poems from a friend, Jesse Graves, who is a longtime friend and sort of poetic collaborator. In sort of we sort of help each other's poems grow to where they ought to be. And I received a couple of his books, and the first one I got, which I have not dug directly into yet, is Tennessee Landscape with Blighted Pine. This is the cover if you're interested. And the other one is Merciful Days. This right here. And Merciful Days has a poem. It is the first poem in the book, which I was thinking, like, I wonder if I could find a poem that sort of harmonizes with demon souls. What could sort of match with that vibe? And that always is kind of a funny ambition, because it serves sometimes to potentially trivialize the poem, because taking a poem's meaning and then sort of filtering it through another media that might not have the heart in it can seem somewhat unfair to the poem. But I trust this audience separates the two and can appreciate each in correspondence and on their own. So, look at this. I love it. It's so good. So yeah, there's Merciful Days. There's the cover. And let's hop over. The Kingdom of the Dead. We're going to read this one. I have no crew nor fleet ship to carry me, nor yew or sleek ram to offer for blood feast. But I seek no counsel with kings or warriors, only the humble dead, those well known to me, and few others, who reach out in dreams, who call back from wherever they dwell. I would guide my uncle out of the shadows to tell again of his bucolic boyhood, running through fields of burly tobacco leaves. My brother hangs back, still new to his ghost life. How to bring him forward? Will he speak to me about parting the veil between our worlds? Not one shade who greets Odysseus and drinks from the blood of his flocks bears welcome news. Their lesson is slow suffering, awaiting hidden signs. As in life, so in the burdened house of death, even those who walked in glory suffer here. I fear what I will see, yet still long to see. And I'm a practiced hand at loving Jesse's poems. So there's much here to feast upon, to take its own image. It's really cool how it sort of brackets this very personal, very direct, and very heartfelt, non-epic element right in the middle two stanzas, and sort of to bracket that with this sort of like overarching epic emphasis on visiting the dead. Of course, Odysseus's encounters with the underworld, and to take this notion of going beyond the veil and visiting the dead could seem like co-opting a very heavy theme or a very heavy sort of motif. And sometimes when you take something that heavy, you run the risk of trivializing your work because you sort of lean a little too hard on the assumption that the reader is going to bring a lot of emotional weight to that motif. But Jesse doesn't do this, and that's what's great. And I think those middle two stanzas both are the landing point of the poem and also what ironically elevates the poem out of being trapped in sort of the mythic morass of simply repeating just repeating its foundation, I guess. I also like that this is neither pessimistic nor optimistic. It is a revisitation of loved ones that is not sentimental. It intimates that those who are long dead are practiced hands at knowing how to look back, and those who are freshly there, as dearly loved and as presumably recognizable as they would be from the get-go, given the freshness of grief, that they are new hands at being there, and are maybe so confused that they prefer to stay there and don't quite know how to look back yet, similar in the way that we look forward. And that this is a place, again, as the House of the Dead always is, it is a place of leveling. It is a place where the heroes and the normal go to endure the same distress isn't quite the word for it, but to endure the same fate. I feel like this is very powerful, and I feel like it speaks to both the hope that visiting the dead would elevate one out of one's grief, but instead merely helps you to recognize what the reality is, that they are gone, and that you must live with that. And that's Jesse Graves' Merciful Days. Very much worth getting. All of his poems have that kind of texture and insight. And to launch us into Demon Souls, man, I've had, you know what? That's maybe a little too flippant to. No, you know what? I'll say it. So there is another poem that I've had stuck in my head over the past 2 weeks, which is a children's song that I've been listening to on repeat because my son likes it, and it is about fruits and vegetables. And I will share it with you because it is a fantastic, rare, accurate use of a word that is never used in this way. So, fruits and vegetables, the two are not the same. Each of them is different, including how it tastes. Fruits have seeds, they depend upon the flower. Vegetables are roots, but they both will give you power. And so, that the use of depend there is fantastic. The not merely to rely, but the orientation in space of an object to another object that it is attached to and dangling from. Very good. A kid's song. So, with that, we're going to Demon Souls.